Hey everyone, and welcome to the Liz with Them podcast with Dr. G. I'm your host, Nick Golinvaux, and I write a weekly newsletter on all things musculoskeletal health and longevity. That means fewer aches and pains and a better knowledge of what to actually do when they inevitably rear their ugly head. In this podcast, I will read to you my article of the week so that you can listen to it on the go. If video is more your thing, welcome to those of you watching on my YouTube channel. And as always, the original article with its associated images will be linked in the show notes below. So without further ado, let's get into this week's article titled, Don't Confuse Osteoarthritis and Rheumatoid Arthritis. Hardly a day passes in my clinic without a patient who astutely asks me, what's the difference between osteoarthritis and rheumatoid arthritis? I touched on this briefly in a previous article about arthritis in general, but let's get a little deeper. As a review, arthritis is any process where you have lost the soft cartilage end cap that's located between where two bones come together. When you lose that cartilage cap, the bones will rub directly against one another, generating a sort of grinding sensation and pain. This is common among all types of arthritis, regardless of how the body got to that point. Now let's explore some key differences. First, osteoarthritis. This is typical aging arthritis. Over the course of our life, that cartilage end cap will break down and cannot effectively heal. Unfortunately, there really is no known way to get it back once it's gone. Common symptoms of osteoarthritis include stiffness, worsening pain with impact activities of the joint, and morning pain or stiffness that typically goes away once you start moving. A word of caution. I have lots of patients who come to me saying, oh yeah, my doctor told me I have osteo. And what I've found is, quote, osteo can mean any number of things. Osteoarthritis is one, but osteoporosis is another. Both of these could be considered conditions of aging, but they are actually radically different and not necessarily correlated. Both are more common in the elderly. Osteoporosis is a thinning of the bones themselves, whereas osteoarthritis is a condition at the joint between the bones that involves the cartilage end cap, as we previously discussed. Now for rheumatoid arthritis. I want you to think of rheumatoid arthritis as a completely different entity from osteoarthritis. Rheumatoid arthritis truly is more of an autoimmune disease. This means your immune system accidentally identifies the cartilage cells in that end cap as a foreign invader. The immune system then does what it's trained to do, eliminate outside threats. So now your body attacks your own joint and cartilage, thus breaking it down and resulting in the same mechanical pain as osteoarthritis, but with an added boost of inflammatory pain. There's no doubt people who suffer with this their whole lives are warriors. Rheumatoid arthritis is a very painful condition. This is oftentimes, but not always, hereditary. Common symptoms include random diffuse swelling in various joints throughout the body. These patients also have morning pain, but it typically doesn't improve once they get up and move around. In severe, untreated cases, the degree of inflammation can actually lead to joint destruction and visible deformities of the joints. So ultimately, why does this really matter? Primarily because the treatments for each are radically different. Treatment around osteoarthritis is primarily symptomatic, meaning that there's no real treatment for the underlying process, because the underlying process is wear and tear over the years. Despite what random corners of the internet might tell you, there is no permanent way to regrow cartilage inside the human body, which means that your treatment options include rest, therapy, over-the-counter medications, prescription medications, injections, or surgery, which is often in the form of a joint replacement. On the other hand, the treatment these days for rheumatoid arthritis is almost entirely medical. We used to operate on rheumatoid arthritis a lot when there were very few medical options. Patients would get bad joint deformities and need corrective surgery. But with the advent of numerous groundbreaking medications over the last couple of decades, rheumatoid arthritis rarely gets to the point of needing surgery anymore. Medications instead block the damage from the immune system and more often than not control the destructive effects of rheumatoid arthritis. So some takeaways from today. Osteoarthritis and rheumatoid arthritis, though they sound similar, are radically different disease processes. Though both end up at the same point, which is loss of cartilage in the joint, the paths to this endpoint are divergent. This delineation has many consequences, most notably in the available methods to treat each condition. I find that my patient conversations are so much more productive if we start from the same point of knowledge. I hope this helps you understand these two separate types of arthritis more easily in case you or a family member are dealing with one of these painful conditions. That's all for today. Thanks for being here. See you next time.